Hi guys, welcome back to Dev Astrology. I've been waiting to complete the Saturn retrograde video as well because now all the major transits in terms of Saturn, Jupiter, Rahu, Ketu have come into fruition. Jupiter is in Atichari movement, which means that he will be doing another transit into the sign of its exaltation of Cancer later in October, and we are going to discuss that a touch bit in this video as well. But the objective of this series is to give you guys an understanding now that from the second half of July all the way till end of December, what you should guys be anticipating with respect to your respective rising as well as moon signs. And it also gives you a comprehensive understanding because astrology works in conjunctions, in yogas, in patterns coming in together. So, whilst you guys understand that what each of these respective transits mean for you, but collectively, these four planets, which is Jupiter, Saturn, Rahu, and Ketu, what sort of an impact they will be creating for the remaining 5.5 months for you. In this video, we are going to deep dive and give you that understanding. I would love for you to please share your comments, feedback, so that when I'm making my other videos, and I plan to do a couple of series following in the next few weeks, I can incorporate some of those questions and come up. I think one of the key questions that you've asked is around retrogression of planets, combustion of planets. Guys, that is on my radar. It is on something that I have to do. I will put together videos where we will deep dive into those areas as well. But without further ado, let's jump into this video to understand what next 5.5 months have in store for you. So, guys, as you can see on your screen here, Pisces, you have Rahu in your 12th house, Ketu is in your 6th, Jupiter is placed in your 3rd house, whilst Saturn is retro in your Lagna. And if you are watching this from a Pisces moon sign perspective, then you are in the second phase of Sadhisati, and Saturn has got retrograded. And I'm sorry, I think in a rush, I've completed it for every sign else, but in this one, I forgot to put the retrogression sign on Saturn and I misplaced it on Jupiter. Please ignore that. Pardon my mistake there. So, guys, nevertheless, by the way, Jupiter will get retrograded. So, we'll talk about it. Right now, Jupiter is sitting in trine with Rahu, and your 4, 8, and 12th. These three houses in trine are getting impacted with this placement. Now, you have to understand here, guys, that Jupiter and Rahu both happen to be the two planets that are expansionist by nature. They tend to bring expansion. And by expansion here, first and foremost, like I had mentioned in the Rahu Ketu transit video as well, Rahu is placed in your 12th house. So there is definitely going to be a rise in expenses that is going to come into play. That is the first obvious derivation that you see. And then Jupiter is also trying to it. So it is going to mount to it. But this also means that Rahu, being the naturally connected to the 12th house, being foreign itself, he is going to also magnify the opportunities that are going to come in your life related to international waters, international scheme of things, anything which has a foreign element. So, which means if you are associated in import export related businesses, if you are associated in projects that require you to partner with people who are from different parts of the world, this gives you an immense opportunity as well. Then Jupiter, who is trying to this Rahu, is placed in your 4th house. He is the lord of your Lagna or your Rashi lord, along with your 10th lord. So he placed in the 4th is bringing a certain degree of expansion to your 4th, which means this is going to be a period where you are going to learn a lot. You are going to add some true depth of knowledge in your life. There is going to be an expansion in terms of your living as well as non-living significances. So, from a living perspective, I mean your knowledge, your insight. But on a non-living perspective, it could simply mean the intellectual property that you might gain, the movable, immovable assets that you might have, any kind of decision making. And again, on the living side, it is your emotional aspect of things. There is going to be expansion of your thought process, your emotions, and a flurry of it, because this Jupiter is somewhere in an impact of Rahu as well. He's sitting currently in Ardhara Nakshatra, which is ruled by Rudra, which is ruled by Rudra is the Lord, but it is ruled by Rahu itself, and thereby in the balance of things are tilting towards Rahu. So Rahu is going to have a sort of a Guru Chandal situation here, being trying to this Jupiter, where he is going to amplify everything from a fourth house perspective too. So do not be surprised if you are going to buy a vehicle, if you are going to buy a property, and you go and stretch over and above your budget. That possibility is definitely going to come into picture. Now, the important bit is that whilst all this is happening, Saturn, which is retrograded in your first, is going to be giving an impact towards the 12th as well. He is the lord of your 12th as well as your 11th house. So, gains through foreign mechanisms are bound to come, but it is also possible that there could be a certain bit of an expense investment that might happen before the gains might derive, or your gains winning a particular deal might result into also you buying additional products, people, resources, whatever, to service that, right? So it depends on how things might pan out for individual person. You have to look into your natal dasha, antar dasha as well. But you see how now all planets coming together are impacting your life, because now you can see that there is a heightened impact of the 12th, and somewhere or the other, rise of spirituality, rise of self discovery, isolation, working in a particular pocket. Look at me, I'm now not able to literally step out of my room. I have so much to do in terms of activities. It's like almost getting boxed to a situation as well, and yet your mind is trying to explore and gather a lot. So that sort of a thing could come into picture. And many a times you will realize, guys, that all your efforts, all your desires, goals, ambitions, they will be coming into picture after a tad bit of a delay. There will be some bit of a tussle, and that is only because of retrogression of Saturn. But if we are watching this from a Pisces moon standpoint, guys, who are from Sade Sati, there is going to be certain degree of relaxation, some bit of relief. It is like almost some weight is being pulled out by Saturn for a brief period of time. So that is going to be there. It is going to be a mixed bag of emotions from that perspective, which is what you will have to find a balance with. Now, as we move further, we realize that your 10th house is getting an aspect from Saturn, a retrograded aspect from Saturn, direct aspect from Jupiter, and then an aspect from Ketu as well. And this is where you will have to realize that there will be some bit of a pull, as if not enough, intent, focus, desire to put the effort at your workplace, in your karmas. There could be just general lack of direction. And Ketu is going to be playing a pivotal role. I had talked about this in the Ketu transit video as well. And we have to understand, whenever Ketu comes in this trine of 2, 6, and 10, some bit of challenges, change in the guard, change in your job role, change a job shift in itself, or change of whatever you are doing. So people who are not working, who are, let's say, running their own businesses, you might have to revisit your products, your services. Who are students, you might have to actually revisit your entire approach towards whatever you are doing. Some of you might have to embark upon new courses. Some of you might have to drop things that you had picked up, and now you're not able to carry that load, that pressure. So that kind of a situation is bound to come. But this is also important for you guys to understand that there will be a lot of hard work. There will be a lot of effort that will be required. So it is not beneficial for you from shying away from such kind of situations, because at the end of the day, you have to understand that success, or the meeting up of your outcomes, your goals, your desires, your objectives, is going to happen based on what you are putting in right now. Whatever thou shall sow shall reap, right? I think if I have got that proverb correctly, it's important. Saturn retrogression is giving you some bit of a emotional, mental relief, but at the same time, he expects you to put enormous amount of effort, because he will come back in its direct motion, and that is where you will see the outcomes also materializing. Yes, he is the 12th lord. Yes, from a Sadesati perspective, if you are watching from a moon, there are tons of challenges, but he's your 11th lord as well. So remember that bit. Now, he's also giving a retrograded aspect to the third, and that is where I was saying that lack of focus, lack of zeal in itself could be hurting you. It could be challenging to a certain extent, and you will have to continue to fight that bit. This is also giving a retrograded aspect to your 7th house. Now, Mercury is also retrograded at the point of recording, and I think later in August this will subside. But uh, you will have to be cautious in terms of your business relationships, in terms of your marital relationship as well. You must think twice, thrice before arriving into certain outcomes. I'm not saying that it's all about fear mongering and we need to get worried because Saturn is your 12th lord. No, he's your 11th lord as well. So he's also giving a retrograded aspect, which could mean that many of you could be putting enormous, gigantic amount of effort in your partnerships, in your relationship as such, with your spouse, in your, reigniting that marital bliss. But the problem is, I cannot give an accurate prediction on that front as to exactly how it will pan out unless and until we have clarity about the dignity of Saturn in your natal chart. So you have to look at your natal Saturn, you have to look at your Dasha Antardasha, and that is when you will be able to decipher how would be that impact for your business, for your marital partnership, with your spouse, for your spouse. But in general, what I would call out is that this is a period where you could have tendencies of ignoring your health. You could have tendencies of ignoring any kind of obstacles coming your way, and you might want to find shortcuts. You might want an easy escape, which may not be the best approach. So you will have to take the battle head on, and that is where this Saturn as well as Ketu is going to be rewarding you. Mind you, Ketu can be very, very rewarding if you are taking the right spiritual approach, or if I may say, goal oriented approach. Just be focused towards your goals. Do not worry about the outcomes. And this Ketu placement in sixth is going to be equally rewarding. Now, as we move further, what we find is that Jupiter, which is currently in your fourth, will be transiting into your fifth house, will be coming into its sign of exaltation from mid of October, and it will continue to be in that state all the way till the end of the year. And this is a very interesting situation because now Jupiter will be coming trine to Saturn, who's in your first house. Jupiter being the lord of your 10th and Lagna and coming into the fifth is going to be an extraordinary situation to be in. Guys, first of all, I can tell you from your emotions perspective, mind frame perspective, confidence perspective, success at work perspective, suddenly things will start aligning in the right direction. You will be having a lot of creative juices coming into play. Your Lagna Lord, or if you're watching this from a Rashi, a moon sign perspective, your Rashi Lord is coming into exaltation. There will be a lot of exuberance, confidence in you that you will be able to showcase to the world. Yes, the aspect of this Jupiter is going to be a debilitated one towards the 11th house. Yet, given that he is exalted, you will be brimful of ideas as to how you can materialize your goals, objectives, desires, targets, whatsoever that you have in mind. This Jupiter will, by the way, be getting retrograded pretty soon. So it is not that Jupiter will remain direct for long. And the reason for that is that given this Jupiter is in an Atichari movement, it will get retrograded pretty fast and will be coming back at the start of the next year into the Gemini sign itself in retrogression. However, when planets are in retrogression, you have to keep two things in mind. Number one, that there is a lot of cheshtabal, there is a lot of effort that can come in terms of what needs to be done. But at the same time, uh, Jupiter, or rather the retrograde planets, will also have this ability of delaying things because they are trying hard, they are reworking on certain things, which is what I was alluding to earlier as well. And when this Jupiter is in retrograde motion, the strength of this Jupiter is going to be much more positive for you when compared to the retrogression of Saturn. So you will now start finding positive impacts because Saturn sitting retrograded in your Lagna is getting a retrograded ninth aspect of your Lagna Lord or your Rashi Lord itself, will give you a lot of confidence to overcome the problems, the challenges that Saturn could throw at you. And that's a positive spin that comes into play with this a bit. Then the other thing that you have to keep in mind is that Jupiter will also be giving an aspect to your ninth house, sitting from the fifth. Lagna Lord, exalted in fifth, giving an aspect to the ninth, is going to bring a lot of possibilities for success through destiny, luck. Your gurus, mentors, teachers could be guiding you. They could be giving you the right inputs. But at the same time, what you will see that there is going to be an enhanced opportunity for you to get into long distance travel. You could be required to students who are, especially students actually who are doing graduation or post graduation courses. I see enormous amount of success coming in for you guys in that sphere as well. So what you are going to observe is, Pisces, that month over month, and we will talk about in depth into how situations are going to pan out every month when we consider all 9 planets impact. But just with the basis of these four planets, month over month, there is a constant improvement that is coming into play, and your last bit of the quarter of the year is seemingly turning out extremely positive. There is a lot of upbeat success, be it in terms of your strategic investment calls, because again, Jupiter exalted in this thing, improvement in your romance, improvement in your connection, in your emotional balance with your partner, improvement if you are a parent for your kids in their education, success for Pisces people from an education standpoint, from a travel perspective, creative pursuits perspective. So you see, the last quarter, single handedly, Jupiter is fixing a lot of challenges. But the same Jupiter is going to be giving you one call, that I'm giving an aspect to the 10th retrograded aspect, which by 10th I mean, the 11th house, but Capricorn sign. So it's a debilitated aspect there. And he is going to ask you that I am going to fulfill your desires, your outcome, if you are ready to revisit a few things. There could be, it's like, you might have to double check, recheck whatever you are putting together as a plan, and then you submit it. And that's where things will start, materializing positively. Now, I want to just take one last bit of a call here, that in the last month, essentially in December, in fact, from the last week of November itself, Saturn will become direct. And now, being trying to Jupiter, you will realize that Saturn will be giving the impact both from a 10th, sorry, from an 11th and 12th house perspective in your Lagna. He will be giving an aspect towards your house of business and your career and profession. And thereby, you will see that the efforts that you've been putting in the first part of this reading that I said, from August to October, will materialize late in October onwards and will be very conclusive by nature in December. So, a lot of your success, a lot of your goals that you've been penning down, that you've been chasing, they seem to be anchoring at the right point in time. So, guys, if things have been seemingly difficult, if things have been, the going has been tough for you, you've got to brace up, you've got to be prepared, continue to put the right amount of effort, because I think the 2025 year is going to be ending on a high for you. I hope you guys have enjoyed this reading. If you have, then please smash on that like button, subscribe to Dave Astrology, and keep watching.